Sure. Hi, everyone. Sorry about that. It was Zoom was kicking us out. So as soon as we would start talking, it would kick us out. But we're hoping that the problem is resolved and that we can get going on our lesson. So, end of holidays. Who went back to school today? Did anyone go back to school today? Or are you only going back tomorrow? Oh, okay. Tiamo went back today. Anyone else? Oh, you're feeling quiet at the beginning of a new school term. Okay. All right. So because we lost some time, we're going to get going and we're going to start this new section that we're doing, which is Pythagoras's theorem. So we're going to talk about it a little bit today and we're going to hopefully do some questions. Now, I know some of you had done Pythagoras. So can you let me know in the comments who has done Pythagoras in class already? You can just say yes or no, and you can tell me if you like it, if you didn't like it, anything you can tell me about Pythagoras. You can give it a scale of 0 to 10 on how you found it if you have done it in class. All of those are fine. Just find your way over to the chat and let me know, have you done Pythagoras or have you not done Pythagoras? And then if you have, let me know how it went. So it went well, it went badly. You can say 0, 10, doing great. Okay, Tiama's done it before. Felicia's done it before. That's okay. Thank you for letting me know. Gerald, you also done it. Great. Okay, cool. Then I'm going to know who I can ask questions to now. Awesome. Okay, so lots of you have done it. That's great. Cool. 6 out of 10. All right. Oh, 7.5. Ooh, that's exciting. Okay. All right. Well, let's get going and let's chat about it a little bit. And because some of you have done it in class, hopefully by the end of our lesson, it's okay. We were also late, so you don't need to worry. By the end of the sort of course, you will be able to do some really hard questions with Pythagoras. Now, the cool thing about the Pythagoras theorem is that you're going to be using this idea all the way to matric. So it's something that we use forever. It's really important that we understand it well. And this picture that you can see here, that's supposed to be what Pythagoras was meant to look like. He was an ancient Greek philosopher, and he was the first one to name this theorem. But the rumor says that it was actually sort of figured out thousands of years before Pythagoras came onto the scene, and he just kind of stuck his name on it and called it his own theorem, which is quite rude, but that's what happened. And up to this point, there are 367 different ways to prove that this theorem is true. And one of those proofs was actually figured out by one of the American presidents. So it's quite cool. It's like a very well-known theorem that lots of people deal with, and it's not too complicated, but it gives us a lot of power. It gives us lots of things that we can work from. So before we jump into the actual theorem, we need to know some terminology. And we've actually spoken about this word before, so I think some of you will know what it is. I would like to know what the name of that side of the triangle is called. You can write it or you can say it. I don't mind, but can anyone tell me what that side of the triangle is called? It has a special name. Yes, nice, great. It's called the hypotenuse. Okay, and the hypotenuse is the longest side of the triangle, and it's always opposite the right angle. Okay, so when we use the word hypotenuse, that's the side that we're talking about. And then we'll also talk about other two sides. What does this little block mean in geometry?
A right angle.
Yes, Princey, thank you. That is a right angle. And a right angle means that it is 90 degrees. Okay, so the most important thing about Pythagoras is that we have to deal with 90-degree triangles. We're not allowed to use any other type of triangle when it comes to Pythagoras. Okay, so that's just sort of understanding some words. So let's try and figure out what Pythagoras actually is. I'm just going to turn my video off so I can move my screen a little bit. Okay, so the rule of Pythagoras says that the hypotenuse, so in our picture over here, that's c squared is equal to the sum of the other two sides squared. Okay, and then that's b. And whenever we use Pythagoras, we write the whole reason Pythagoras, like how we did in geometry, how we always I'm not even speaking English today. Whenever we were in geometry and with a statement, we always had to have a reason, and this is the same thing. So we have a statement, and then we have to give our reason, which is Pythagoras. And so the whole thing about Pythagoras' theorem is saying that the hypotenuse squared is equal to the sum of the other two sides. So let's see how this would work. Let's say that A was 3. Okay, so I'm going to break this up into 3. And we're trying to square it, right? And now remember, square is like an area. So I'm squaring it. And do you all agree that 3 squared is 9, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Is everyone happy with that? Okay. So now let's look at B. Let's say that B was 4. So now I'm going to break this up into 4. And 4 squared is 16. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So we've got 16 blocks over here. We've got 9 blocks over here because we're squaring them. And because this is a right angle triangle, I'm going to say that C is 5. And we're going to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're squaring it. And we land up with 25 squares. And if we add those together, 9 plus 16 is definitely 25. And so the Pythagoras theorem is just saying that this is true. It's saying that if we have 2 of the sides of a triangle, we can always work out the third side of the triangle if it's a right-angled triangle, because the hypotenuse squared is equal to the sum of the other 2 sides squared. That's just the basics of Pythagoras. Okay, this is just to sort of understand what we're doing. So let's jump into a question and see how it goes. All right. Now this is exactly the same numbers that we've just done. I'm just going to show you how we would write a question like this out. So we're looking for X. We can see it's a 90-degree triangle, and X is our hypotenuse. Okay. So we can say X squared is equal to 4 squared plus 3 squared, and then we have to give our reason, Pythagoras. All right, and then we can do that on the calculator. So X squared is equal to 25. So all of this, you're allowed to just chuck into the calculator. And to get X alone, we have to square root both sides. That's from our equation work. And so X would then be equal to 5. And this is what a nice, easy Pythagoras sum would look like. Okay. How are we feeling with it so far? Is it okay? It's feeling easy. I'm hoping it's feeling easy. Okay. Cool, cool, cool. So now that I've just done that question with you, I'd like you all to try B for me, and let's see who feels good with their answer. You can give me an answer for B. Remember, when you're working this out on your side, to make sure you're writing all your different steps as you're going along. You should get a nice whole number for your answer. Nice. Beautiful. Okay. Nice, guys. Let's show what those steps look like. We're going to have x squared is equal to 5 squared plus 12 squared. And then we have to give our reason, Pythagoras. And if we don't give that reason, we lose a mark. So it's really, really important, which means x squared is equal to 169. And so then we're going to square root both sides, and we're going to say that x is equal to 13. Or we should say centimeters, and we should say centimeters there as well. Nice job. Okay. Now this one's a little bit different, but I want you to think it through, and I want you to see if you can come up with the answer. And if you're struggling with it, don't feel scared to ask questions. It is a little bit different. I just put a helping hand here. That is our hypotenuse. So we are not looking for our hypotenuse. Okay. Cool. Okay. So now, those of you who were struggling with this one, we need to be careful. We're not looking for the hypotenuse anymore. So if I'm writing it the same way I wrote this, I would have to say that 10 squared is equal to 8 squared plus x squared because of Pythagoras. And then to get x squared alone, I need to move that 8 squared over. It's okay. Thanks for letting me know. And if we move it over, you can write this in a whole bunch of different ways. So if yours doesn't look exactly like mine, that's totally fine. So we get 36 is equal to x squared, which means x is equal to 6. Okay, now some of you may have learned a quicker way of doing this. If you're looking for a side, instead of writing it like this, you could also say x squared is equal to our hypotenuse squared minus the other side squared in your first line. You could do that. And some of you may have even done it one step quicker than that. So those of you who've been doing this in class for a while, so that's option 1, you could have also done that in your first step. And all of those as a first step are absolutely fine. So depending on where you are in your Pythagorean journey, you can do whichever one you're comfortable with. It's okay, Tansy. We also had some technical difficulties, so that's okay. Okay. Ooh. Let's try D. Thanks for letting me know. And after D, I'm going to tell you a crazy fact about Pythagoras. Let's see if we can get through D first, though. Oh, okay. We got a decimal answer. Let's see how that goes. Okay, so if you're writing it the quick ways, don't feel bad. I'm just writing it the long way while everyone gets onto the same page. Okay, so 7 squared, which is our hypotenuse, would be 1 squared plus x squared. And our reason here would be Pythagoras. And so we're going to say 7 squared minus 1 squared is equal to x squared. And that's going to give us 48. And then we're going to square root that 48. And we are going to get, I'm going to write it in a different form first. And I'm going to explain to you why. And then if we push SD on our calculator, we're going to get 6,93. Always round off to 2 decimal places. Okay. So we're going to talk about a couple of things with this answer before we move on. Firstly, whenever you get an answer, always round off to 2 decimal places. So make sure that you know what number is next. Don't round that up to a whole number. Okay. This over here, where we have that square root sign, it's something called surd form. So whenever we get an answer like root 2, for example, that's counted as surd form. And sometimes in your tests or in your exams, they'll tell you to leave your answer in surd form. And it's because it keeps the integrity of the number. So when we round off a number like here, how we rounded that to 93, we lost all the decimals after 3. And so we're messing with the number a little bit. So sometimes in a test, they will ask you to keep it in surd form. And that just means you're going to keep it with the root signs. Okay. Okay. So time for my crazy Pythagoras fact. Does anyone know a crazy Pythagoras fact, or is it just does anyone think that they know what I'm going to say? Did anyone learn anything crazy about him when you did it in school? No? Okay, well, I'm about to blow your minds. So Pythagoras in ancient Greece, he actually started a cult of Pythagoreanism, which became a religion all these many years ago. And there were like some crazy rules with it, but they had this deep belief in numbers, and they only liked whole numbers. They didn't like numbers that had decimals. It was really weird. And they were all vegetarians. They didn't eat beans. It was like a strange thing, but it's like it was a full on religion. Yeah. And if you Google it, it's still a religion now. Like there are people who follow the Pythagorean religion to this day. It's crazy, but it existed and it still exists now. Yes, he did steal this theory. So they don't know if he stole it from students, but they think that he stole it from the Egyptians. So long, 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 long before he came onto the picture. Yeah, very crazy, super hectic. And yeah, so they didn't ever eat beans and they only ate vegetables and they only liked whole numbers. And yes, they believed that everything came from numbers. That was their whole religion. It was like a number religion. Crazy times in the Pythagorean religion. So if you ever meet someone who is a Pythagorean, don't offer them any meat for dinner. Okay, let's try some more questions. That was your little fun fact. Yes, he does have a super interesting pack history. Okay. Okay, so that was just talking about surd form. So now these ones I want you to give a try by yourself. They're still nice and easy. So can you give A and B a try for me? Hoping we can get to the end of these questions before our lesson today, but I'm sure we will. So just try A and B. Remember what we've spoken about to round off your answers to 2 decimal places. Be careful with how you round them. Oh, hi, Canva. Okay, let me turn off this video again. Oh, the Pythagoreans were also rebels. They refused to vote because they didn't believe in the legal system. It was a whole thing. Okay, so let's have a look at one. I'm seeing some answers coming in. So we're going to say x squared is equal to 16 squared plus 12 squared. And then our reason for that would be Pythagoras. Now, this, and I know this is irritating, they used to, long ago, well, not long ago, actually a couple of years ago, they used to accept just writing Pythag as a reason, but they don't accept it anymore. You have to write the full word Pythagoras. If your spelling is wrong, that doesn't matter at all, but you have to write the whole thing. Okay, so x squared is equal to 16 squared plus 12 squared, and that gives us a total of 400. And so we are going to square root both sides, and we get a beautiful answer of 20 centimeters. Don't forget those units. Okay, cool. So those of you who got 20, well done. That's excellent. Nice job. Okay, we've got some answers coming in for B. I'm just going to give everyone else a little bit of time to catch up and give it a try. Cool. Those of you who've done this in class must be like, oh, this is so easy. I promise we're going to get into some trickier questions later. Okay. So we are looking for our hypotenuse again. So x squared is equal to 20 squared plus 15 squared. And we are going to say Pythagoras as our reason. And so x squared is equal to 20 squared plus 15 squared, which is 625. We're going to square root that. And we get the beautiful answer of 25 centimeters. Okay. Just be careful of always giving your units. I know some of you are just writing the answers, and that's fine. Just make sure on your own work you are making sure that those units are there. Okay, well done, guys. Okay, C. Now for C, you're definitely going to get decimal places. And I want to see who lands up getting this one right, because I want you to round it off to 2 decimal places. So be careful with how you write that. Oh, okay, we have our first answer, 5,19. I'm not going to confirm or deny if that's correct. Let's see what other answers come in. Okay, very different answer. Oh, it's close. I can tell you that one of the answers on the screen at the moment is correct. So at least one person has got it right. Okay. Let me take you out to misery. So 6 squared is equal to x squared plus 3 squared Pythagoras. And so 6 squared minus 3 squared is equal to x squared, which means x squared is equal to 27. And now we need to square root it. And when we square root 27, we get an answer of 5,19615. Now we have to round it off to 2 decimal places. So we have to look at the number after the 9, and that number is bigger than 5, which means it affects the 9. And because a 9 can't go any higher without changing the next number, then it lands up becoming 5,20 centimeters. So well done to the 5,20s. The 5,19s, that's a very, very, very easy mistake. So don't panic. And I think the ones who were in the 6s, I think you may have just had your X on the wrong side. So just make sure that you can see what I've done. And if you don't understand what I've done, just let me know. Just say you're feeling confused or you need help. Yeah, okay. Okay, let's try another one. Let's see if everyone can get this one right. Okay, this one's also going to be in decimal places. Okay, we have our first answer coming in. Okay, so close. So close. Let's see how it went. So our hypotenuse squared is equal to the sum of our other two sides squared, Pythagoras. Now, the reason I'm always writing it like this and not the shorter ways is because then otherwise, sometimes people think, oh, am I plussing? Am I minusing? And then they make a silly mistake. And especially in the later grades, these questions filter on to a lot. And so I don't want you to lose marks just because of a silly mistake. That's the only reason I'm writing it out the long way. Okay. So we get to this point over here. And 9 squared minus 4 squared gives us a total of 65. And if we square root 65, we get an answer of 8,0622. And so we're going to look at the number after the 6, and that's a 2, which is less than the 5. And so we're going to say 8,06 is equal to x. And we're good. Nice. Well done, guys. Nice job. Okay. Now we're going to get into some interesting questions. So, does anyone need to stay on this question any longer? Okay, cool. Let's have a look at this question. I'm not going to tell you any advice. It's a square that has a side length of 7, and I would like the length of the diagonal. And now we spoke about the word diagonal when we were talking about geometry in one of our previous lessons. So I'm hoping that you know what a diagonal is. And I would really like the answer to this question. So I want you to read it. I want you to problem solve a little bit and see if you can find our answer for us. Oh, Gerald doesn't answer. Let's see if anyone agrees with him. Okay, Tiamo agrees with Gerald. I wonder if they're right. I wonder if they're wrong. Okay, let's have a look. So whenever we have a story, something like this, my recommendation is that you start putting the information in. And now we've already done quadrilaterals. We spoke about them in our previous lessons that we've had. And so we know that a square has got 90-degree angles, okay, on all of our angles. So we know that if we were looking at this triangle over here, we're looking at a 90-degree triangle. Then the next thing that we spoke about in those lessons was the word diagonal. And so whenever we have any kind of quadrilateral, any line from one vertex to the other creates a diagonal. So that would be a diagonal, and that would also be a diagonal. If I had, let's do a random quadrilateral there, that would also be a diagonal, not a very straight one, but those are both diagonals. So a diagonal is just going from one vertex to another. And so in this case, that is our diagonal. And now in this square, it's not only our diagonal, it is also our hypotenuse. And we also have been told that the length of each side of our square is 7 centimeters. And so that's 7 centimeters and that's 7 centimeters. And this is what we don't know. So we're going to say x squared is equal to 7 squared plus, oh, not a 2, 7 squared. And our reason is Pythagoras. Okay, and 7 squared plus 7 squared, it gives us 98. And we're going to square root that. And we get a beautiful answer of 9,89949. Okay. So you didn't fall for my trap. This 9 affects that 9, which means our answer becomes 9,90 centimeters. So those of you who got 9,90, you are 100% correct. Well done for not falling for my trap. Okay, let's try another tricky question. Does anyone need to sit here? Okay. All right. Look at this gorgeous question. This is the type of question you want to see in your test. Know it. Okay. An ant is walking from point B, so here, from point B to C, to D, to E, and finally to F. Determine the length of its route. So my little ant is walking from B to C, then from C to D, and then from D to E, and then from E to F. I want to know how far my little ant has walked. Those of you who are looking at this and feeling very sad and confused, think about this as one triangle, and then this is a triangle. And that might help. Okay, so now Canva, that answer for BC, I want you to think, and I'm really glad that you've said that, because this is a good thing to learn from. If you're saying that BC is 17,49, that number is bigger than 15. Yeah, okay, okay. I'm just going to carry on talking this for everyone else if so that they know. But I'm so glad you said it, because it's such a common mistake to make. When you get an answer that's bigger than your hypotenuse, then that's a good place for you to be like, okay, I've made a mistake and I need to try something else, because your hypotenuse always has to be your longest side. Okay, so it's like good ways to sort of check that you're doing something right or doing something wrong. Okay, we have some answers coming in. I'm just going to give you a couple more minutes to try and figure this out for those of you who are still working. I don't want to rush you, but well done to those of you who have done it. Okay. So let's start breaking this question apart a little bit. I've sort of written out the different lengths that we need to know in order to work out this question. Now, luckily, we've been told some. So we know that CD is 9 centimeters, and we know that DE is 2 centimeters, which means we only need to find out a couple. So the first one we need to find out is BC, which is that one over there. And I can say for BC that 15 squared is equal to BC squared plus 9 squared because of Pythagoras. Okay, and so BC squared is going to be 15 squared minus 9 squared. And that gives us 144, which gives us 12. Okay, so those of you who said 12, excellent work. So now we know that BC is 12 centimeters. Then we have to work out EF. So we also don't have this line here. Now that's a hypotenuse. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of sneak in over here on the side so you can all see. EF squared is going to be 4 squared plus 2 squared because of Pythagoras. And so EF squared is going to be equal to 20, which means EF is going to be the square root of 20, which is 4,47. Okay, so that's EF. So then if I want to know this ant's total journey, I'm going to add up all of the things. So the journey of the ant, I'm sorry, I'm writing all over this page, is going to be 12 plus 9 plus 2 plus 4,47. And 12 plus 9 plus 2 plus 4,47 gives us a total of 27,47 centimeters. Okay. It's okay. So I think that those of you who didn't get that right number, so I see some of you did, Gerald did, you did, Keegan got it right. It's beautiful. I think what may have happened, because I'm seeing some other right answers for EF and BC, for example, I think you just added up the wrong sides. So you just needed to add up BC, CD, DE, and EF. And I think what happened was you added up the other two sides that were involved. Yeah, but well done. You did the hard work. You got the right answers for the Pythagoras. And that is where we are going to call it a night. And you've done so well tonight. Your Pythagoras is great. I feel like I can give you really hard questions in our next lesson. And I'm going to pass you over to Tula.
Hello, grade nines. I'm actually really impressed that there's so many of you that are here now. We know we started quite late, We had a huge technical issue, so apologies for that to those who were waiting the whole time. Yeah, next time it does happen, I mean, we hope it's not going to happen again, but next time it does happen and you are in the waiting room and it's after 5, just know that we're probably working really hard to fix it. So just stay and don't leave, and don't think we forgot or your timing is wrong, and then we'll be there. Let me just quickly share. I'm just going to quickly share my screen so we can quickly let you guys go. Here we go. So we are doing Pythagoras for the next 2 weeks. So for this week and next week. And this was our first lesson. Our second lesson is on Wednesday, and we'll be doing using Pythagoras to find lengths of sides. So that's what we'll be doing. And then we'll be doing that at 5, so be here. But just to prepare, we have this homework for you as always. So go to the Watobe app, theorem of Pythagoras, pick a topic, theorem of Pythagoras, and then go to intro to Pythagorean theorem, and then just watch a video. There's a video there, watch the video, make sure you follow the video, you understand. I think it's going to serve as great revision as a supplement for this lesson. And yeah, if you have any questions, I guess you can bring them to the next lesson. And then I think that's it from me. Do you guys have anything you want to share or questions? Oh, I'm seeing Canva. Canva says that they got 43 over 50 for a test.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, that is fantastic. That is fantastic, Canva. Congratulations. We're always happy. Oh, you guys were writing tests. Yeah, you wrote tests last term, and a lot of you have results. So make sure that you let us know the results. Doesn't need to also be a level 7, even if you got lower than that, but it's a slight improvement. We also want to know if there's areas you're struggling. We also want to know, we want to stay in communication with you and know how you're doing, because we care about your progress in maths. So congratulations, Canva. If anyone else has anything to share, let us know. Nogubonga got 49 over 50. Wow.
That's
Wow.
amazing.
It's just incredible. It's just
did
incredible.
anyone get any exciting report comments or report marks coming in after last term? Oh, good, Lorata. Well done. That's awesome.
Yeah. Just amazing.
Ma'am.
Yeah.
I got my report card and I got a level 79, which is 6.
That's amazing.
Oh, that's
so
amazing.
Exciting. Oh, Zinclair also a huge mark.
Zinclair as well.
Tiamo, I don't know why I'm seeing
like
tears
she's going
there.
to the top.
Tiamo is crying, but like Tiamo only ever gives me the right answers, so I don't know where those tears are coming from. They are lying tears.
This is just amazing. I really love this time of our session when we're just sharing these good news and even bad news. If there's things you struggle with, like according to maths, can let us know here, and then So yeah, congratulations to everyone. We're gonna let you go now. We'll see you on Wednesday. Make sure, for those of you who are quiet today, we want to know on Wednesday what's happening with your maths, and make sure that you do your Watobe lessons, and then, because I'll see you on my side. I definitely will. So
and read up about the Pythagorean religion and tell me other crazy facts about it so that I know.
Yeah, that was really interesting, even just for me. That was very fascinating. So yeah, thanks for that. Thanks for that, Ms. G. Bye everyone. We'll see you on Wednesday.
Yeah. Bye everyone. Oh, a P-Way also got 90%. Oh my goodness.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, you guys are on fire.